Cobblemon developers have been cooking once again. This month, we got a look at Battle Weather Effect, a brand new evolution method, tons of new Pokemon animations, and even our very first look at future BerryDex system. Although most of these features are not coming in Cobblemon 1.8 and are still work in progress, but the developers have shared plenty of exciting teasers throughout the June month, and sooner or later these features will be in game anyway. So let's take a look at everything they revealed this month. As always, one of the biggest highlights this month is even more Pokemon animation, and the developers have been absolutely cooking. So the biggest winner this month is Primarina, receiving an incredible 16 brand new animations, while Marvel was not far behind with 8 new animations. We also got new animation for Sableye, Duraludon, Umbreon, Jolteon, and that's not all. Even Pokemon like Zubat, Diglett, Dugtrio, Haunter, Graveler, Kakuna, Boulder, Gigalith, Darmanitan, Druddigon, Carving, Sandshrew, Varum and Rivarum all receive animation update as well. Okay, let me drink some water first. So as I was saying, I really like this animation because every new animation makes Pokemon feel more alive instead of just sliding around. So even if it's just one extra animation, it's added a lot more personality to the world. And considering how many Pokemons have been updated this month alone, it's clear that the developers are thoroughly polishing the entire Pokédex. Alongside all new animations, the developers have also finished several new Pokemon models. This month we got models for Absol, Sandygast, Spazolan, Lucario, Mareep, Flappy, Ampharos, Buneary and Lopunny. Now this might not sound like a huge update, but every completed model is an important step because before a Pokemon receives polish animation, shoulder support or other new feature, it first needs a finished model. So this means we'll likely see more animations and improvement for this Pokemon in the future updates. Although I am still waiting for PCO. By the way, speaking of new shoulder Pokemon, the developers also teased 2 more Pokemon getting shoulder support, Skitty and Puroleon. So if you have been collecting shoulder Pokemon, you will likely have 2 more companions to choose from in Cobblemon 1.8. For now we have only seen this preview image, but honestly, they both look like they were made for this feature. By the way, comment down which Pokemon would you like to see as a shoulder Pokemon in the future updates. So it's not just Pokemon getting updates, battles are receiving some loves too. So one of the biggest improvements coming to Cobblemon is that weather effect now appear during battles. So whether it's rain, snow or sandstorm, you will actually see the weather while fighting instead of just imagining it. There's even a small weather icon at the top of the battle screen, making it easy to tell which weather condition is currently active. This effect can be triggered by Pokemon abilities or weather-based move, making battle feel much more immersive. Next up, we have a pretty small change. So the developers have added new sound effect to the TM system, and detail like this help make Pokemon feel much more polished overall. And finally, here's something I definitely was not expecting. So a developer shared a clip of Breloom using Sky Uppercut to launch a player into the air. I don't know if I call that impressive or terrifying, but I definitely would not want to be hit by that. The Pokédex also receives several quality of life improvements this month, making it much more useful during your adventure. So starting with a scanner, once you scan a Pokemon, you will be able to view its drop and move dex information directly from the Pokédex. This means you won't have to rely on online website to look up for this useful information. Next up, the developer have also improved how seen Pokemon work. So even if you have not caught a Pokemon yet, the rideable tab will now show whether it's a rideable Pokemon or not. And finally, a small but welcome quality of life changes. The Pokédex scanner will now remember the last mode you are using. So if you switch to camera mode, it won't reset back to the scan mode every time you open it. But if you don't remember this feature, then I already explained it in my last video, so you can go check it out. So next, developers also made a small but important improvement to Alpha Pokemon. So level matching is now fixed when fishing of Alpha Pokemon, and it also works the same when using Pokésnacks. This means the Alpha you encounter will properly match your team's level every time, making the mechanic much more reliable. I actually cover Alpha Pokemon in a much more detail in a previous video, so if you like to learn everything about Alpha Pokemon or spawn or mechanics, be sure to check that out after this video. So we all know Archaludon is one of the best Pokemon in the current competitive format, and now it's finally coming to Cobblemon 1.8. And that's why the developers also reveal how Duraludon will evolve into Archaludon. So instead of crafting this item manually, you will first need to obtain Metal Alloy by striking the Iron Golem with lightning before defeating it. So once the Iron Golem golem drop the metal alloy, you will able to use it to evolve your Duraludon into Archaludon. I honestly think this is really a creative evolution method, because rather than simply crafting an item or finding it in the chest, it actually encourages player to interact with world to obtain it. Now before we jump into some of the work in progress feature, here one small visual change that I thought was worth mentioning. So the PC now feature an official Cobblemon logo on the front. So it's a tiny detail, but little visual improvement like this help make the mod feel much more polished. Now let's move on to some of the features that are still being worked on. So if you remember the camera feature that I mentioned earlier, so we got another feature related to that. So this month we finally got the initial model of the photo printer. So this item, like its name says, will help you to print the photo that you take from the camera. It can be switched between on and off state, and the printed photo has also been adjusted to fit neatly inside the output slot. It's still a work in progress, but with each update, it feels like we are getting closer to seeing Pokemon photography become a full feature. The photo printer is not the only photography feature in development. You also got a look at work in progress photo scoring system. In this system, your photo won't be judged by how good they look. They will actually be scored based on several different factors. For example, you will earn points based on how much of the frame the Pokemon takes up and how well it's been centered. You'll also receive bonus point for photography a Pokemon in its natural biome at the right time of day, during the correct weather, in a herd, or even if it's a alpha or shiny Pokemon. On the other hand, getting too close or cutting part of Pokemon out of the frame will reduce your score. Personally, I think this has a lot of potential. I could easily see a reward system being built around photography in the future. And even if it never become an official Cobblemon feature, the modding community has always been incredibly creative. I would not be surprised if someone turned this into a fully featured photography mod with quest and reward system. Now this is probably one of the most interesting concepts revealed this month. So the team share an early look at the future Cobbledex system. We already know about features like Pokédex, MoveDex and the upcoming camera. But this time they showcase a brand new addition, the BerryDex. The idea is that while you are in scanning mode, nearby scannable block like Berry Tree will be highlighted, and once you scan them, you will unlock new information inside your BerryDex. That information could include things like berry flavor value, its biome, the best months to use, crossbreeding information, breed compatibility, and much more. I honestly love this idea because it gives player another reason to use the scanner instead of forgetting about it after the Pokédex. Plus, having all the information available in-game would be a huge quality of life improvement. Though of course this is still work in progress, so everything could change before it's officially released. Finally, the team also shared some early concept art for Pokédolls and decorative Pokemon statues. So there's not much information about them just yet, but I think they will make some really nice decorative block for bases, Pokemon Center or even server builds. For now, these are just concepts, so we'll have to wait and see if they eventually make their way into the game. And that's everything the Cobblemon team teased throughout the June month. Personally, I'm most excited about the future photography system. It has the potential to add a whole new way to play Cobblemon. But what about you? Which feature are you looking forward the most? Let me know it down in the comment below. So if you enjoyed this video and found this helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more Cobblemon news, guide and update videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.